How many horsepower? Couldn't tell you. And that's what Mr. Morris knew. That was the tallest waterfall in the creek built some years ago. You put a bigger pump in them. You got a golf. And then you'll see a taller waterfall. See it.
Coming up on our right is the amphitheater. That's where our education department does various nature talks and demonstrations.
Но это хорошо, потому что рыбу обязательно поймаешь, она тут ее в основном.
As we cross this bridge, we will be entering the 160-year-old sycamore grove. The oldest trees out here in the canyon are going to be the sycamore. You see, during the 1800s, loggers came through removing most of the hard and soft wood. They left behind the sycamore because it would actually cause a lot of problems for their saw. An example of a sycamore is this 170-year-old tree coming up on the right. Well, look around, you can tell all the trees have grown back since the day of the loggers, such as the eastern red cedars, shortleaf pines, hickory, maple, century. You see there's a sign next to it. It says ambush path. Well, back in the day, ruffians were being ambush weary travelers along the walking trail. I see you looking around. Don't worry, all the ruffians have been rounded up and turned into the tram drivers. We're going to keep about 24, 25 down here, and then the rest of them we keep in Arkansas. Rotate them every 2 to 3 months for vacation. If you ask those horses if they enjoy the barn, they will say, yes! We got Pine Ridge Pass, one of our rugged walking trails on the left. This trail goes back half a mile, well, a mile, what's 1.2 miles, and I'll show you where it comes back into the canyon.
Or you could take that trail.
We have Dogwood Creek on our right. The bridge you see right there is your furthest point for self-guided fishing. From this point on, in Dogwood Creek, you can only fish with one of our guides. It is a 4-hour excursion, and it is all catch and release. And I'll tell you, those guides know all the sweet spots to find those large fish out here. I see you looking at the creek banks over there to the right. That's good. Because along those creek banks, you might get to see the mink. It's a little brown creature that looks kind of like a ferret. Besides the mink, you may also see skunks, squirrels, possums, armadillos, groundhogs, and of course, lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my. I saw it. I like when people say it. All right. If you happen to see lions, tigers, or bears, please let me know. That will be the first time I've ever seen them in the canyon, and I too would like to take pictures. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Sorry. On average, the largest hunters we find down here are going to be the coyotes and the bobcats. The bobcats, they are sleeping right now, so we will not see them. I can tell you right now from personal experience, you will hear a bobcat long before you see it. If you do come across a big old bobcat, you let it have its space and it will leave you alone. Yes. I wasn't always civilized. I was a young man once, running through the woods. I know, it's close. Now get your cameras ready, folks. We got a really nice photo opportunity coming up on our left in front of us of our weir. These man-made dams allow nice, strong water flow in our upper pool and well-oxygenated water in the lower pool. These weirs are very important because they create the ideal environment for the rainbow trout. We're going to be a little bumpy when we cross, so hold on. Hello. Thank you, folks. In wooded areas like this, when the sun goes down, we will see river otter. The river otter, they look very similar to a mink, but they're about 2 to 3 times the size of a mink. They have a more rounded white nose. The mink has a pointed brownish black nose. They both like to hang out over to our left. We call this Piranha Pool. No piranhas, just rainbow trout.
Yeah.
Start dipping. Yeah, when the school stuff floating. Yeah.
The rainbow trout that you folks are going to feed in a moment are much larger.
Замечательно.
Смотри, водопад.
Ага. Это пороги. Да, вон там водопад.
Смотри, как высоко идет.
Coming up, Thunder Falls. 2 waterfalls becoming one. Don't worry, we're going to pause here. We got some stuff to talk about here. Folks, if you went to the Branson IMAX Theater at 10 a.m. every morning, you'd see a movie called Ozarks Legends and Legacies. These waterfalls are featured in that movie. Now, this is where we do the outdoor weddings and elopements. We've even had a handful of wedding proposals here. We know ended with a yes. Oh yeah. We assume that there was a yes because everybody was happy, taking pictures, and they had shiny new rings on. If you're ever on the tram and you want to propose or re-propose to somebody in this location, do it on the way back, just in case. 2.5 years ago, there was actually a young man on the tram that asked if he could propose there. At the time, I did have to tell him no. That's because it was my oldest daughter's boyfriend. Yes. He's still alive. He's just not in the picture no more. Yes, I do have a daughter old enough to get married. I'm much older than I appear to be, folks. We have eye level crossing coming up on our right. Just a unique perspective of the creek.
Смотри, как вода идет.
You may notice there's kind of a nice little cool breeze coming off our creek. Our water is kept around 60 degrees year-round. That is because of our 32 natural underground springs. We get about 50 to 54 million gallons of water a day from our springs. Yes. Down here to our left is an example of one of those springs. We call it Six Stump Spring.
Вот, смотри, подземная вода выходит.
Yeah, it's coming out from underneath the tree stump back there.
Источники.
But folks, you notice there's green growth in the water down there to the left? That is watercress. Watercress is very particular on the water it grows in, so we know that's some high quality H2O. Yes, I throw movie lines in. Alright folks, let's talk about the watercress a little more now. It is edible and has a peppery flavor. We ask you not to eat our watercress or drink our water. We are downstream. So, you got a little iodine, drop it in your water, wait 4 hours, it's good to go. Now, folks, our water is usually a lot clearer than it is right now, but we have a lot of cedar pollen right now, so it's kind of murkying up the water. That's that little film you see sitting on top of the water is the cedar pollen. Ah, the chuck wagon. The chuck wagon is where we do our outdoor wedding receptions. We've had family reunions here, even small group get-togethers. You're fine. Hello! Hey, stop by, get a little break. There's actually a lot of famous people that have visited this spot, like Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, Kevin Costner. Any famous person who came here with Mr. Morris to fish, they would have fished back behind there because there's a really nice fishing hole right there. And we have some local bluegrass bands that will come out here in the summertime and play, and some other people stop by. Alrighty. Here comes Pine Ridge Pass. Pine Ridge Pass is our most difficult trail. It goes up about 310 feet before it levels out. Now behind our nature center, there's another trail called Hickory Ridge. At the top of Hickory Ridge is something interesting left over from the pioneer days. If you want to have a nice leisure walk off-road, we got Box Canyon coming up on our left. This trail goes back half a mile. It is all flat. At the end of the trail, there are some interesting rock formations. Kind of like the ones you see over there on the right. I'll be back in just a moment. Here in the state of Missouri, we have over 6,000 registered caves. One of our registered caves is going to be coming up in just a moment, up in front of us to the right. We call this Powerline Cave. It goes back 100 feet. Inside is one of our natural springs. As you can tell, the cave is closed off to the public. We are trying to protect the habitat of the cave dwellers. Now in our caves, we have found the Mexican free-tail bat, little brown bat, cave crickets, and cave salamanders. Sorry, no cave yetis, folks. We look for them every day. The Mexican free-tail bat is actually still down south. Usually around the middle of this month, we'll start to see them migrate back up this way. And this is actually the farthest north that they'll come. What's really cool about them, they are the fastest horizontal flying creature. They go 99 miles an hour straight before they have to slow down or make a change in direction. Pretty cool. We got a nice photo opportunity coming up on the right. You're going to see it when we're about midway through the bridge.
Порогин такие, смотри.
Alright, we're going to be right there. We're going to pause for a moment. Take those photos. I'm going to talk to you about the floor and walls of the canyon. They consist of two main sources of limestone. We have dolomite, which I will talk about at Dolomite Cliff, and then there's calcite limestone. A good example of calcite limestone is on our left. It's the light stone that's up there. Now, calcite does become unpredictable when exposed to outside air and elements. After heavy rains and long periods of frost, we monitor this wall for changes. Like the ones you see coming up at the bottom, it's usually going to be February and then March through May when we have a lot of rain. Actually, in Little Indian Canyon on our private Jeep trail, there are whole sides of the canyon wall that have fallen off within the last 2 years. It just shows the constant flux of our Earth. Great Spirit Rock Shelter. In this location, the University of Arkansas and Missouri State had discovered 3 additional human remains. Now, all the remains out here, they used the method of radiocarbon dating on them. 2 of the remains that were found up there dated back to 800 and 1200 AD. The third set they discovered dated back to 6000 BC. Yes. It is one of the oldest sets of human remains found in the state of Missouri. They are not on display anywhere in the world. They reside safely with the university.
We didn't even know that until they put that there.
One of our deepest caves is coming up on the left at the water crossing. We have Kids Cave. This cave goes back 250 feet, but it is only 2.5 feet tall at its tallest point. You'll see it just past the rock pillar over there to the left. Alright, take a look up yonder to the right. You're going to see Fire Pit Cave. In Fire Pit Cave, they found charcoal remains and pottery dating back to 1000 BC. The cave has a natural opening in the ceiling, making for perfect fires inside. This is our last stop for the next hour and a half. If you need to use the restroom, follow the road up to the left. You'll see the restrooms. When you see me come back, that's your cue to come on back. Welcome to the glory hole.
Yeah, up on the rock, got a river otter up there.
Where? To the right of the tree, to the edge of the evergreen.
In this deep part of the canyon, there are actually some non-mythical creatures we do get to see, like the rare red fox, the occasional beaver, and the elusive gray fox. The gray fox is so well at hiding down here, they could be on the rocks, and unless they moved, we wouldn't even see them. Out of everyone who went fishing here, only one person got a pool named after him. On the right is William Jennings' pool. Mr. Jennings caught his very first fish in this location to our right. He was so overtaken by his experience, he wrote a song. The lyrics to the song are behind the hostess stand in the restaurant. In front of us, to the right, is a plaque attributed to his catch. The legend says he was standing in that very location during the late 1900s when he caught his first fish. I know, late 1900s sounds like a long time ago, but it was not. This is Turtle Rock Bridge, the only cobblestone bridge in the canyon. The beautiful turtle rocks you see on top of this bridge, oh, I see a groundhog down there. Do you see it right there? The groundhog, also called the whistling pig or the woodchuck. No, they do not chuck wood. Now, here in the wild, the groundhogs can live 5 to 7 years. Their homes are very uniquely designed, folks. Inside they have a space for sleeping, a space for eating and storing food. They even have a special space for using the restroom. Yes. It's pretty amazing. Their main diet consists of plants, but they have been known to eat small insects and a few other animals. Alright. Kyle.
Славчик, ты проехал бы по этому мосту?
Конечно.
Правда? Мне кажется, это просто невозможно. Никакой ожог.
We call this Imagination Rock. What do you see, folks? I like it.
Может, птица.
A bison. A cow.
Yep. I personally see all those animals and many more. I like to call that Animal Cracker Rock. Yes. Got tight trees here. The largest rainbow trout in the canyon weighed in at 16 pounds and it was 27 inches. It came from Trophy Pool right here on our right. Now folks, the Missouri state record for rainbow trout is 18.1 pounds. Our fishing guide said that they caught a 15 pounder, a 14 and 15 pounder down there, but they didn't take no pictures, so they might have been telling a fish tale. Yes. Now the emerald color of the water is occurring naturally, and it's due to light refraction. You notice there's lots of water down there on the right hand side, and you take a look to the left, there's only a small pool of water. The water on the left hasn't dried up, it has gone underground through the cracks and crevices of the calcite limestone. It continues to flow underground until it hits dolomite and gets forced back up top, like you see on the right.
Она оттуда туда соединяется на подземелье.
You will see this disappearing stream, which is also called karst topography, that's karst with a K, a little bit later here in the canyon. Folks, what I like about this time of year here in the canyon is its unique beauty. Without all the tree cover, we get to see all the way up the canyon walls and tell how deep we really are in the canyons. We also get to see rock formations like the ones on the right that we don't normally get to see. Got some more daffodils over there.
Как все обросло мохом. Цветочки, смотри.
We just got some repairs going on.
Вот насос.
Они что делают? Только добавлять, убавлять?
Нет,
A
они
lot of times our
ремонтируют
weirs or
чего-то.
the pools will get cracks in them and we'll have to go repair them.
Как они тут ремонт производят. Уровень поддерживают, видно. Вот это тоже, вот, наверное, это самый водопад, но временно работает.
Да.
Sometimes right over there to the right. Now Cave Spring actually is flowing all underground. It comes out to the left to rejoin the creek.
Over there, yeah. See it moving over there.
Just as long as I see the light of day going through the bridges. Lots of practice. Folks, here's another example of our disappearing stream. Lots of water down to the left. And then as we get up on this bridge, you won't see any water over to the right. You will hear it in a moment, and you'll see it kind of going through the cracks down there to the right. Folks, this sycamore tree stump right here was the oldest known tree in the canyon at one time. Back in 2000. Thank you, folks. Enjoy the rest of your walk. Now, folks, as we get up here to the little turn, direct your attention to the base of the trees right next to the road. You see how the base of the tree is wrapped in that chicken wire? That is what we call beaver floss. Beaver floss helps protect some of the trees from the beaver. Looky there, we're heading to Arkansas. While in Arkansas, we're going to make a 300-foot climb going up 2 switchbacks. Hold on to any belongings of loved ones you do not want to lose. Welcome.
Thanks, Greg.
Do what I can. Welcome to the beautiful natural state of Arkansas. This is your driver speaking. If you have a fear of heights, please keep your eyes directly in front of you. If you want to overcome that fear, look over the side and breathe deep and slow. Too many plane rides. Alright.
Your oxygen mask.
When we get to the top of the pasture, folks, we are going to be a little over 500 feet above the parking lot. And just a moment, as soon as I make the next left-hand turn, you'll see the road we were just on. And you can tell how high we really are.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking this way. This is nothing compared to the roads around the last school.
There's that road down there, folks, to the left. At this point, I do like to take it a little slower because I've had too many white-tailed deer, armadillos, and raccoons run across this road up here.
Not funny.
Oh no, seriously.
It's dinner.
We will. Oh, we'll get out. I already got up here once today. I think I can. Ah, yes. We are now about to enter into elk and bison country. Dun 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 dun. Okay. No dinosaurs, don't worry.
Right.
I told you I'm a big kid. Now, with this pasture, the next one over, we have a little over 60 acres for our animals. And this is just the small portion of our much larger herds that are on our farm. And I'll point the farm out when we get up here.
We have a big bison farm up in Rockford in Illinois.
We have, on our bison farm, we have a little over 250 head right now. They mostly hang out here during the winter time and in the rut season for the elk, so that's why they're all in the next pasture over. Just a minute.
Самолет летел вверху. Большой какой-то и поменьше.
That's our main well pump over there to the left.
Большой какой-то и поменьше летел.
Только параллельно летят.
Just wait and see. I guess, I don't know, and I don't want to find out. No, maybe they'll mind. I don't want to find out.
Alright, I see the elk. Got to find the bison. Oh, yep, see the bison too.
Там он ходит.
Just a minute. Their main diet is going to be the grass up here, but it doesn't grow so well, so we feed them hay to supplement their diet.
Там озеро, где они там обитают. Вон они, около озера все.
Ну да.
Something over there on the left. Yeah, it looks like a horse.
Lots of spicy nuts. And those grass.
Давление. Сообщество не будет. Да нет.
You're going to see a feed drop coming up in just a moment. Once a week, we'll feed them grain. And that's what these feed drops are right here. Now, water. So we have to refill it every year. But the wildlife manager decided to set some water free underneath. And he made it a little deeper, which makes it much better, healthier for the animal.
Воде стоят.
We'll talk about those elk.
Еще на том вторым без полно. Маленькие есть, большие.
А вот
Texas Longhorns. Texas Longhorns were taken to London country in Mexico. After years of service in Mexico, they are set free and roam throughout northern
с
Texas.
рогами коровы.
In the 1920s,
У этого
they
маленькие
almost became
рога.
extinct here in North America until ranchers rounded them up, mixing them with normal cattle.
А это техасская.
Now we have our Texas Longhorns. They keep the horns their entire life and they maintain them.
траву и жует.
Folks, they can withstand temperatures up to triple digits. Then they're not bothered by it at all.
Какие рога. Ой-ля-ля.
Right, let's get up here and talk about the white bison.
Там он белый бизон.
Интересно.
Они все серые, это белый.
Ага, вот белый бизон, да.
А это маленький, смотри.
Ага. Маленький горбатенький. О, какая прелесть. Ой. Ты смотри, при такой страшиле, да, такой миниатюрный носик и губки. Какая прелесть, да?
That is Dakota, our white bison. Dakota with the T.
Красавцы.
In the Lakota Sioux language, his name means friend to
Просто
everyone.
красавцы.
Because he has a normal eye color that makes him a white bison, not an albino. 1 in every 10 million is naturally that white bison.
No kidding.
They're extremely rare.
А некоторые еще с гривой, да.
He sees everything in color. No kidding. Huh.
Ты знаешь, какая прелесть, как
Hang on,
интересно.
one second.
That dog's showing.
Вот они.
Let's see.
О,
Hey, beautiful. Look at that.
безумно.
Now, Dakota, he's 5 years old, and he came to us from Moscow Mills, Missouri. Now, Moscow Mills, Missouri, they have a special ranch out there that specializes in white bison DNA, or else we wouldn't see too many of them. Because 1 in every 10 million bison is naturally the white bison. Yeah. So, we have 2 of them.
Она какая интересная.
Yeah. We have one here, and then we have one over on the Buffalo Ridge Golf Course over there. Now, these bison, you'll notice they're kind of small. These are going to be plains bison. They're just basically kind of another offshoot of the larger bison that you would see in Yellowstone. Matter of fact, the larger bison you see in Yellowstone, they are going to be what we call true wild bison. That's why they're so much larger than these guys. Now, their tongue is very coarse. So if they were like lick your hand, it would feel like wet sandpaper.
Бедный, ну не дрался ручечкой так.
Most likely,
Ой, бедный, как у него там до крови.
those are probably hoof prints, hoof marks
Yeah,
on.
he might have had a little fight.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
Интересно,
mating
вот
season.
хозяин.
It is actually, we are into, we call it the first part of the mating season for the year. So the bison, they don't really have like a full-blown mating season. They have a couple weeks where they're mating and then they're not mating. And it just kind of goes like that for a few months. So.
The males go off by themselves.
Oh, yes. That's why we got Ninja back over there. Dakota's over here with the whole crew. They can live 10 to 13 years in the wild. On property like this, they can live up to about 18 to 20 years. I believe the oldest bison ever recorded so far was 29 years old and it was in a zoo. So, yeah, they can.
The bald eagle.
Yes. Now, most of our females, she's pregnant, so she's probably going to give birth the next couple months. She's kind of got the extended stomach and everything like that. Now, they are covered in mud because they like to roll around in the mud to get rid of their winter coats. They can run 28 miles an hour for 4 to 5 hours at a time. Yes. Oh, just wait. They can also jump about 6 feet in the air. Yes. We don't have any grizzly bears or gray wolves around here, so you will not see them run or jump like that very often. This is the most excitement that we're going to get out of them. Yes. Now the babies, when they're born, usually after so it takes the babies about 7 to 8 days to become strong enough to run with the herd. And usually at that time, those little red dogs are running around up here, and they're just funny to watch. And we call them red dogs because of their red coat, and they don't have those horns yet. It makes them look like a little red dog.
Happy Sunday. You and the Reverend over there got a thing going, huh?
Yes, sir. We sure do. Mayday. Yeah. Now, you'll see some of their horns are straight and some of them are curled. When they're 3 years old, that's when their horns will curl up. And that signifies they're ready for mating. Trying to see what they're doing. That's pretty much the most excitement we'll see. Every once in a while, the park rangers will park up here and they see the bison running back and forth down there. No reason at all. They're just having fun under the full moonlight. They're really absolutely amazing creatures. during the late 1700s, they estimated there was more than 60 million bison. And then around 1896, they did another census and found that there's only about 574 bison left. At that time, the great bison hunt did end, and that is why we have over 500,000 bison today. Yes.
He's almost standard size.
Oh, yeah.
He's big like he should be. Yeah.
And keep in mind, folks, he's only 5 years old, so he's still got some growing left to do.
Beautiful boy. He's big. That's the way they are.
Oh, yeah. Watch him real quick. Pretty much watch him all day long up there. Any questions about him? All right. We're going to get rolling, so hold on, folks.
So that one's got curved horns, but that one's straight. But that one looks young.
Oh, yeah, Willis has a picture of the thing. Actually, his head is looking at him like this.
Oh. Over there to the right, that's our farm, where we have those 250 head of bison and like 160 Rocky Mountain elk, I believe. If you're a bison, you do want to be on this side of the fence.
О, а там это, со с правой стороны спустимся, с правой стороны тоже.
And then the meetings with the all get yeah, they start at next night. They're friends until then. They can smell it.
Да-да-да.
Oh, here they come again, dog. They used to show dog.
А вон еще.
Feed them with the meat. Oh boy, my guy with his eyes are rolling his head. I thought, Josh should just take him home. He's holding.
How
He's like,
far can they sit that up?
oh, yeah, he knew. He knew. And he's like, oh.
Looks like we're going to have our first baby soon.
You're useless. You're not doing anything.
Так, видимо, это мирно соседствует.
А вот они все. Мы сверху проезжали, они в реке сидели. Вот они здесь сидят. Все смотрят на нас.
Интересно, как, да?
Все проверяют, чем
Ты смотри,
происходит.
смотри. Ля-ля, да? Вот какие рога интересные, да?
Can we see the bull elk over there, folks?
Yeah.
Can we see him really good back row?
Нет, держи.
Can we see the ladies up there in the water too?
Ветви.
Oh, yeah, there's one that's much more impressive.
You're going to feel a bit of a jolt. Hold on. 3, 2, 1, and jolt. Here it comes. There it goes.
They have a full red, and then they lose it.
Смотри, они прям как будто бы специально для экскурсантов это самое находятся, да?
All right.
В определенных местах.
Let's talk about the Rocky Mountain elk, folks. So we chose to have Rocky Mountain elk here because at one time, before they were overhunted, they were native in the area. Now, there have been efforts to reintroduce them here into Arkansas and over into Missouri, and they're actually doing really well. For example, over in Missouri, this last year, so in 23, they allowed for 10 elk to be harvested, and in 22, they only allowed for 5 elk to be harvested. So their numbers are growing really well over there in Missouri. This is one of our juveniles right here. He's only about a year old. We know that because he doesn't have his splits yet. When his rack falls off later, probably about mid-April, his rack is going to fall off. And when his new one comes in, that's when we'll see his little splits go on. Let's talk about those antlers. Big fellas over there. Yes, our dominant bull junior has lost his rack already completely. It's actually really common. Whoever is the dominant bull who gets to reproduce over the wintertime, they will be the first to lose their rack because they're pretty much got all their energy and everything zapped from them. So you laugh. The dominant bull can lose about 30 to 40% of its body weight during the rut season. Yes. It is a full-time job keeping the ladies together and the boys far away. Here's one of their antlers. The antlers can weigh anywhere from 8 to 15 pounds a piece. Yes. Now, when these fall off, we have about 8 days to come up here and collect them, because that's how long it takes field critters to eat these. Coyotes, skunks, squirrels, possums, they absolutely love chewing on these. Great source of calcium for them. And like I said, they're 8 to 15 pounds. It is the fastest growing bone known to man. When these fall off, so for example, Junior lost his rack on Friday. He's already getting about 1 to 2 inches of growth, and that will continue to grow until the last week of August. Yes. At that time, they'll shed the velvet, which is like a fuzzy stuff, and they'll be left with this nice hard antler. When the rut season starts, September through give or take mid-December up here, they're not just trying to establish dominance. They're trying to knock each other's points off. The points of the antlers show the females that those males have good genes. So without nice symmetry in the rack, the ladies want nothing to do with the fellas up here. That's rough for them.
People give these to dogs to chew them.
Oh, yeah.
Not smart. It breaks off teeth. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. Not smart.
Spicy mud. That's why we wear the boots.
Yeah, really well maintained. Nice coats.
Oh.
Thank you.
I lived in a suburb where we had a
What's up, partner?
Да. Познакомиться желает.
Oh, that's the way they just clap their hands.
Ой, какая прелесть.
He's like, what's going on here?
I want to look at you.
I know what he wants. We're not gonna get to it.
Красавец.
We're not gonna get to it.
Вот он какой подошел.
Are you spoiled, fella?
Can I go?
Yeah. Clap your hand and I'll leave.
He didn't like that.
No.
He didn't like that.
Yeah. No. Back. No, let's go.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
Never know when we're probably.
No.
Yeah.
It's like animal
Не
behavior.
боится он никого.
That's what I used to show dog.
Да.
Yeah. He's just testing. He wants food. You don't give
Красавец.
it till you leave. And he said, oh, no food. Yeah.
Kind of draped.
He may go and he's going to close your door. He's looking for food. He got the fish bowl. He's going to drive. Now he's licking your handle. I don't think I want to touch your hand.
I was going to say something. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. The Tulio. So, it's an interesting story about the Tulio. During about 1929, they announced that all the Tule elk were extinct, and then a rancher in California came forward saying that he had a small herd on his land. They came out and confirmed that it was the Tule elk. So because of the actions of one farmer, we still have Tule elk today. So, yeah,
Look at him so in the
Зеркало
mirror.
сейчас оближет.
Did you have something good for lunch? Because it must
No.
have been on your hand.
it's the pollen.
Да, ну
It's
я
the
тебе
pollen.
говорю, лишь зеркало.
Yeah, they'll go.
Я умираю.
That's what I was trying
Be in
to.
their car. Oh, that was no good. I tried.
А тот, смотри, ногами в воде, а это вообще по уши в воде. Только голова его оттуда,
Жарко, наверное.
а он там.
Это кому жарко вот все туда лезут? В воду. Видишь, вон некоторые, да. А он тут он прям по шею почти залез.
Folks,
Охлаждается.
the wildlife manager, whenever he tells the board he wants to do things up here, they allow him to do it because since he's taken over 5.5 years ago, not only have the animals become healthier, but the pasture itself has become much healthier as well.
Oh, you know what? I wonder if it is.
Okay.
I got one more thing to talk about with you. We'll be up here in just a moment.
Everything else over there had one.
Looks a little more out.
This is going to be our retention pond down here to the left. We used to have golden rainbow trout, but they got cleaned out this winter. We are restocking them next week. The golden rainbow trout, they actually have an interesting story. They were first discovered in 1954 in a fish hatchery. And since then, scientists have done their research and they found those golden rainbow trout at 10,000 feet and above in nature. Many times, the golden rainbow trout are mistaken for the golden trout of California. Hello! Yeah! There actually might be a lone survivor golden rainbow trout down there to the right. They might have got him already. 20% of our water comes from Blue Spring up there to the right. That's actually where Dodwood Creek starts. Wow, you did fall this recently. Take a look up yonder to the left. That is Trapper's Cabin. Trapper's Cabin was built back in the early 1990s so Johnny and his crew could stay here for long periods of time as they oversaw the construction and excavation of the canyon. Well, folks, this cabin was designed after a trapper's cabin Johnny came across in New Mexico. When he heard the cabin in New Mexico was being torn down and rebuilt, he had the doors and windows shipped here. It is said our doors and windows are over 100 years old. So it's just another example of him trying to preserve another piece of that frontier history. Now, up until 2019, heart rate back to normal. Oh, man. Believe it or not, that little bridge back there does not get hit at all by the tram. For some reason, it is the wide bridges that always jump out at us. Yes. I will tell you from personal experience, once you hit one bridge, you will not do it again. It's a very long day at the office. We tell new drivers, it is a matter of when you hit the bridge, not if you hit the bridge. Let us know. We'll turn it into a learning experience. The longest we had a new driver go without hitting anything was 18 months. No, it was not me. I made it out my third tram and I did hit a bridge. It wasn't this tram. Lessons learned that day. Alright, I just saw the other driver, so we were good to go.
Походу вот здесь мы поворачиваем первый раз.
Петлю сделали и все. Чтобы вот эти животные посмотреть. Но животные, как интересно, да,
Oh, looky there, folks. We're heading back into Missouri.